Ohai. Bissau is the capital of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, the administrative center of the autonomous sector of Bissau. The population -492,004 inhabitants. 2015. The city is founded in the 16th century as the Portuguese strengthening called by the local name of the island on which it was built. The name of the island from an encore ethnonym Bissano, Busan, Bisagva, Busa, etc. Group to a Manda. Before arrival white, the territory of today's Bissau was inhabited by the local black tribes speaking the West Atlantic languages. As a lingua franca it was used a Mandinka, and living in a primitive communal system. Seamen from Nuno Tristan's expedition in 1446 became the first Europeans who visited these lands. At the same time the Tristan and a part of its satellites put ashore were killed by natives. For the next 20 years of new attempts to land on inhospitable Painan coast it was not undertaken. In 1466 granted Afonso V to the citizens who was actively equipped on the Cape Verde Islands located nearby, the right to development of Guinea. Nevertheless, a heavy environment and extreme eagerness to fight of natives interfered with colonization, and actually its first attempts began only a decade later, under pressure of rivalry with British, the French and Dutches, and came down to construction of the strengthened trade posts on the coast. Cashew became the most important of them. In process of growth of displacement of vessels, Cashew's harbour became inconvenient for trade, and in 1687 to Portuguese. On behalf of the Company of Cashew and Cabo Verde Tea it was succeeded to reach the agreement with the leader of the coastal tribe Papal upon the basis of the next trading station Bissau. The choice of the place of laying of the city was influenced significantly by availability of well-protected harbour available to all types of vessels of the time. This settlement was founded later, on March 15, 1692, and in 1696 the company began construction of the strengthened fort. Development of the settlement was unexpectedly interrupted in 1703 when the King Peter II did not prolong monopoly of the company for trade in Guinean slaves. Loss of monopoly led to substantial damages, and as a result, in December 1707 Bissau was left Portuguese, and the thrown fort is destroyed by natives. The second time Portuguese landed in Bissau in November 1753, but only in the 1766, with the end of construction of the new fortress. Formation of the city as center of trade and commercial navigation began. In 1836 Bissau became the administrative center of the Portuguese Guinea, however, submitting at the same time to the deputy in Praia, but not directly to Lisbon. At the same time development actually of the city went extremely slowly. That was promoted by a set of factors: adverse climate, regular attacks of the aggressive local tribes, which were periodically burning out completely everything outside fortifications, the competition from other Portuguese settlements. Nevertheless, in 1855 in Bissau the civil municipality was created, and on April 15, 1858 the settlement received the official status of the city. Bissau, despite formal increase in the status, continued to remain first of all the transshipment point and the fort protecting it, reminding the city a little. The next blow to its prospects was struck by the administrative separation of Cape Verde and the Portuguese Guinea, which took place in 1879. Contrary to hopes of few citizens, the town of Bolama, located to the southwest, became the capital of new colony. Nevertheless, By the end of the 19th century, at last development of the city began that was promoted in many respects by growth of goods turnover of port and in general trade. In the 1914th, the City Council approved the first town planning plan of Bissau. In December of the 1941st, the administration of the governor of colony returned from Bologna. War grew, bloody and unsuccessful for the mother country, with the Guinean rebels getting massive support of the USSR. China and the African countries almost did not affect Bissau directly, even in the time of trouble. 1967, 68 and 1971. Fighters of Pei did not manage to rush into the capital. Nevertheless, war led to the sharp growth of the population. With 18,000 in 1955 to 71,000 in the 1970th and card in the 1979th. Running to the city from the territories controlled by insurgents that led to serious load of city infrastructure. After the Revolution of Carnations, the new left government of Portugal refused to fight for colonies and provided them independence. On September 10, 1974, Bissau became the capital of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. The post-colonial period of history of the city is connected with problems typical for Black Africa, rapid growth of the population and chaotic building against the background of the stagnating economy and the degrading infrastructure. Extensive damage of Bissau was caused by a civil war of 1998-99, from which consequences the city did not recover still. Bissau is located in a river Jebba estuary and 80 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean. The area around the city low and boggy. Climate of the city savanna. Almost on the verge of transition to monsoonal. With a rainy season from June to October and extremely high humidity of air during the whole year that vary inconveniently for the person. For less than half a century of independence, the population of Bissau increased in 5.5 times. The census of 2015 counted card citizens. Against the background of other country, mainly Muslim and almost absolutely Negroid, the capital is allocated with the relative Christian majority. 40.2% at 34.2% of Muslims and 7.9% of animists. And also a noticeable layer of mulattoes. In the breeding relation of 5% of citizens, 18.0%, belong to a Fulba, 15.7% to a Pape. On which lands the city was founded? To a Balant. There are small, but playing an important economic role, communities of Lebanese and a Macanesa. Official language of the city and country is Portuguese, but in life most of citizens speak only Creole or breeding languages. Recently arrived from the rural zone. Economy and transport. Bissau is the main industrial center of the country. In the city and vicinities the most part of the enterprises of Guinea-Bissau is placed. There are enterprises of sawing, food, furniture and light industry, potter's production, ship repair workshops. A considerable part of jobs is provided by a public sector. The authorities make attempts of involvement of tourists, especially on an annual carnival. But it is disturbed by backwardness of infrastructure, corruption of officials, high crime and strong environmental pollution. The comfortable port on the Atlantic Ocean. Export of palm oil and kernels of palm nuts, peanut skins, timber, coffee and cotton. The international airport of Osvaldo Vieira. Iata. Ike. Vilov. From which regular flights to Lisbon, Dakar and Casablanca and also to the capitals of neighboring states are performed. On the coat of arms of Bissau, the dark red surf tower accompanied with two heads of blacks in red turbans is represented in a silver board. This coat of arms is represented also in the center of a black-red Vosmiklinyevi square flag of Bissau. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.